Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Discovering Nicole. That would be me, Nicole. Today, we're going to talk about, you guys, Matthew Perry's interview with Diane Sawyer. Okay, for those of you guys that know who Matthew Perry is, he was Chandler on Friends, and he has struggled with addiction all of his life. Okay, so I got some notes because I just got done watching it and I wanted to share it with you guys. I thought it was so good. And if you can find it on YouTube or just snippets of the interview, watch it because it's really, really good. But I think what stuck out to me the most is that, okay, when he was 14 years old, he started drinking, right? He was with his friends. He was just knocking them back. And he said he can remember from the time when he was 14 years old feeling like, wow, I feel normal now. I feel regular now. All his friends would drink and just walk away from it, but he continued drinking and was an everyday drinker by the time he was 18. Then he got that job working for Friends, and Diane Sawyer was like, how could you go to work fucked up like that? And he said he had made a promise to himself that he would not do drugs or alcohol on the set. But that didn't mean he wouldn't come in hungover as a motherfucker every day. And he said he would come over hungover so bad that he would be shaking. But you would have never known that watching Friends. I know y'all, I would have never guessed it. When I looked at him, he looked completely fine to me. He said he was on like 180 milligrams of methadone, drinking alcohol, just so much shit you could never imagine. The way that he got into pills was he was on the set of, what was that show called? Fools Rush In. Fools Rush In. He was on the set of Fools Rush In. And he was screwing around on the jet ski and he got an injury. Well, right after he got hurt, they gave him some pills. And the magic pills were Vicodin. And he said, when I took those pills, it felt like honey running through my veins. And by the time he got through with his injury, he was taking over 55 Vicodin pills a day. That's a lot of Vicodin, dude. He was in and out of rehab, like so many rehabs, 6,000 AA meetings, 15 rehabs, 65 detoxes, and just like hospital stays galore. One of the hospital stays that he talks about in the interview is when he went into a coma for 14 days and they had to put him on an ECMO machine. Dude, when I tell you guys, I'm listening to him and I'm like, I did the same shit. I went into a coma for 7 days. They had to call my parents and tell them to come see me because I might die. And I'm here to tell the tale. He has recently wrote a book about it and he's sharing about how, he is giving back now. And he's apparently, it sounds like he's doing a 12-step fellowship. He is, helping others and doing that kind of stuff to help people get sober. He says that helping others is what has saved him, which I could not agree more. It's unfortunate though that he had to go in and out of treatment for so many years because over there in California, we know exactly what it's like in the treatment industry there. You can probably imagine that they were probably raking his insurance over the coals or he was paying fucking millions of dollars to be in those treatment centers. And that's where I think I get sad because I feel like he probably got taken advantage of a lot. But it takes what it takes for us to get sober, It takes what it takes. And you can tell, he has, you can tell that he has been ran through. He looks older than what his age is, right? But he's doing really well. His speech is a little slurred, but I think it's because, all the hospitals in the 14-day coma, he was in a hospital for 5 months. Like, he was pretty hardcore out there. I don't know if he ever got into injecting. I'll have to read his book. But the reason why he's sharing all this and talking about addiction so openly is because he wants people to understand that addiction can enter any home. Like, here is this kid, so fucking smart, so much potential, a fucking famous actor, has all the money in the world, all the connections in the world, and still chose to pick up drugs and alcohol because he never felt regular. And I truly believe that it goes back to when we're children and the way our families and our parents raise us. I'm not putting any blame on moms and dads, because parents do the best they can. Lord knows I'm doing the best I can, right? But when I reflect back on when I was a kid and my parents were raising me, my dad obsessed about his weight. Okay, he obsessed about his weight, and in turn I obsessed about my weight. My dad was very perfectionist, and so he put a lot of pressure on me and my sisters to be very perfect. You know, I don't know what the answer is to raise a child that doesn't grow up feeling insecure, have low self-esteem, low self-worth, and, you know, pick up drugs and alcohol. But I do know that it's really important for your children to feel like they can come to you and talk to you about anything. And that's just my main focus, is letting my son know that he can come to me and he can talk to me about anything that he's going through. And that I don't want him to be afraid to talk to me, because that's how I felt. If I felt like I could talk to my parents, I could have went to them and told them that I was smoking and drinking, because they wouldn't get mad at me, right? The teenage experimentation it's to be expected almost, right? And freaking out and getting mad about it only pushes your children away from you even farther. And I think that's what happens. But before they even get to that point, we have to raise them to be leaders, strong leaders. And I'm seeing it in my son. My son is a follower and he's weak. And so, y'all, and I don't mean weak in a bad way. I mean, he's soft, he's sweet, he's understanding, he's compassionate, right? He starts his jiu-jitsu today, and he's going to meet people, and he's going to start all that, and that's going to help him with his confidence. But it's just so hard, you guys, to learn how to raise your child to where you hope and pray that they don't go down the same road that you went down, you know? And just hearing him talk about not feeling normal when he was younger, I really relate to that a lot. And I just don't want my son to feel that way. So I'm working really hard to keep communication with my son and let him know that he can talk to me about anything. If he's feeling insecure, I will help him. I truly believe that that's where addiction begins, in the home as a child, you know, when our brain is developing, and that we need to work really hard to raise our children to be strong, independent, happy leaders who are not trying to escape their reality. So they need to enjoy the reality that they have created for themselves. And we need to help them learn how to do that. Because I was always looking for something to take me outside of myself, you know, because I wasn't happy with the way I was or the way things were around me. And so I looked for a way to escape. And it just goes to show you that somebody who is a famous actor who had the whole world at their fingertips can be not happy, can be hurting on the inside. And I always think, man, if I had that much money, I'd be happy as hell. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe not. It's just addiction is such an ugly disease, and it just gets in there and it fucking festers and it takes over and it ruins so much shit. You know what I mean? I'm grateful that he wrote this book, for real deal. I'm going to buy the book. Absolutely 100%. There's one thing that he said, that his castmates said in Friends. They said that he was always trying to keep everyone else happy. People pleaser. He was always trying to make sure everyone else is happy, everyone else is in a good mood, nobody's upset, right? And that's what we do. We are doing that because we want acceptance and validation from our peers. That's why we have to be raised to have that acceptance within us and validate our own selves. So we are not leaning on other people to make us feel strong, you know? And so, damn, dude, I wish I had the magic answer, but I know that I'm on the right track. And I'm really trying hard to instill these things and help my son, because I just want him to be happy and healthy, and I don't want him to go down the same path I did. So if you haven't watched the Matthew Perry interview, you need to go watch it, and we'll get his book and then we'll read it together. Okay? All right, you guys. Sorry I got a little emotional there. You know how I am. I'm very emotional. It's just part of who I am. So I'm sorry if I made you cry. And I love you guys. And I know y'all saw the good news. I'm going to be a counselor, motherfuckers. So if you're struggling, I'll be able to help you even more. All right, bye.